This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here with your latest Meteo Mundo forecast on this early Tuesday, November the 21st. I hope you're having a nice start to your day. Again, despite the calendar saying late November, it's still active in the tropics. We have an area of potential development in the Caribbean, one in the Atlantic as well. In some areas that could see more heavy rain later in the week. So we'll get you going here on this forecast. Question I have for you as we get started. I know there are some areas that don't need any more rain, like Hispaniola, especially Dominican Republic. Puerto Rico had some good rain yesterday. We had some heavy rain late last week in Jamaica, but I want to know the areas that actually could use some rain. Drop it in the comment section below if you're actually looking forward to the potential to see some showers over the next 5 days. Let's take a look at what's happening right now with this area of interest in the Caribbean. It's a low-end chance of tropical development, but again, the big story will be the potential rain that it brings as we move later in the week towards the Western Caribbean. And right now, at this point in time, again, nice little flare-up of showers and storms around the center of circulation. Yesterday, we had some good rain over Puerto Rico. Nice little moisture plume developed over there and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. That's beginning to sink off towards the south. We had some scattered rain for the ABC Islands, and luckily we avoided any really heavy rain over Hispaniola. But again, we actually have an invest area, invest 99L. Now, this is going to show you that it's actually moving south and east. It's not. The motion is 3 miles an hour. Look, this is a broad area of disturbed weather that should drift off towards the west. You can see that in the enhanced satellite imagery here, that we should have a little bit of a pull towards the west as we go through the remainder of the week. But because we have an actual invest area, we actually do have our tropical models running on this. So I showed you these yesterday and they were a little bit more all over the place. We call them spaghetti plots because they kind of do look like spaghetti coming out of the center of circulation. But I do want you to notice that they are now more concentrated to areas to the west, southwest. And I think that's the slow march that this area of disturbed weather will take across the Caribbean over the next 4 to 5 days. Now, it's a very compact system, and one of the main reasons why I think it's going to move that way, and I mentioned it yesterday, is that there's a ton of dry air all around this small disturbance. There is very dry air, relatively speaking, in the northwest Caribbean for Jamaica and the Cayman Islands up towards the Yucatan. If you notice a little bit more green south and west, I think that's where it's going to head. A little bit more moisture available down there, which means Central America will have to continue to watch this disturbance for the potential for some heavier rain. And I'm using the word potential because nothing is set in stone with this as of now. This thing could absolutely fall apart. But again, I don't expect this to become a depression or a tropical storm. None of the models are actually showing that. It's about the potential heavier rain. And again, all you have to do is go back towards the weekend and what happened in the Dominican Republic to know that, again, even these disturbances, despite whether they develop or not, could still produce some extremely heavy rainfall. Okay, so let's take a look at the rain here over the next 5 days. This is the GFS model, and I'm going to put this into motion. And for those people who think the GFS model all does is overdo everything out there, I want you to notice it does not bring much to the Western Caribbean as we get into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It really has yet to pick up on this invest, even bringing in a lot of tropical moisture. Does it up the rain chance a little bit as we get into, Thursday and Friday and Saturday? Yes, but there's nothing very concentrated on this, whatsoever. So on the GFS model, I think what would be happening here as we get into Friday and Saturday is we'll see some rain develop in Central America, and then a little bit of lift coming off of some of the higher terrain could spell some additional heavier showers. But again, nothing that's going to be widespread or sticking around for any length of time. But you can see across Panama, which did get a lot of rain with that disturbance last week as well, towards Costa Rica and San Jose, same situation. Some areas of Costa Rica has some heavier rain, but really spotty activity in Nicaragua and Honduras, Managua and Tegucigalpa, up towards Belize and Belize City and Guatemala and Cancun and Cozumel. Again, not a lot of rain here on the GFS. A few showers, a little bit higher chance than early this week, but not much. Now let me show you the NAM model, okay? So again, about the same time frame here. I'm gonna take a second and just reset the dial here on the NAM model for the time and extend this out. And you're going to notice when I click the right model, There's actually several different NAM models to choose from here. So give me 1 second while I reset the time frame with the correct NAM model. There you go. Okay, the NAM model is actually more aggressive. I think it has a better handle on the moisture available in the Central Caribbean and pushes more rain and more widespread rain into portions of Central America as we get closer to the weekend. So right now, the NAM model is a bit more aggressive with this. Let's see how this kind of plays out on the NAM. We'll start off with later today. Could be a few showers down towards the ABC Islands, more moisture redeveloping in the NAM for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So I'm going to be monitoring that. Again, there's just kind of a moisture axis. If I zoom this out, this moisture axis is off of that old boundary, which again is going to entail the other area of potential tropical development. But you can just see this rain developing here across this moisture axis. And it just so happens to be that Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands and the far northern side of the Leeward Islands are within that moisture axis. It's a very narrow axis, but again, there could be some heavier rain there. Think we're going to be relatively dry for Jamaica still for today. I think we're going to pick up a better chance for rain later in the week, but based on the fact that there's much drier air up towards Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, probably not a bigger chance for rain and a higher threat, if you will. And then again, you can just see that rain developing in the Southwest Caribbean and then sneaking through, especially through the southern sides of Nicaragua and portions of Panama and Costa Rica. Those are the areas on the NAM with the potential for some heaviest rain. So I'll be monitoring that. It's much more spotty when you get up towards Belize and the Yucatan and the rest of the area. So some development of rain here. No development, though, of any center of circulation or really any wind core. This is the GFS model showing you, again, kind of a drift off towards the west and the southwest, but nothing really wraps up with this. All of the ensemble members of the GFS keep this below tropical depression status. Maybe some 25-knot gusts around there coming in with this in a broad region, but nothing that wraps up. So again, it's not about the potential for core of wind, it's about the potential for some of that heavier rain. And this is the European model pressure track. And you're going to see the same scenario here. Again, you see no area of low pressure in the Caribbean over the next 4 to 5 days. You do see one over my head, and that is with that disturbance in the Atlantic. So let's get back over to the potential rain, and I'm going to throw this into motion. And again, we're just going to take a look at some of the areas that could get some showers. So I already mentioned how I didn't expect a lot of rain in Jamaica for the ABC Islands. I think we're going to get some scattered showers developing, especially today and portions of tomorrow before that moisture axis moves back off towards your west. Spotty activity, but not a lot there. For the southern side of the Windward Islands, again, could be a little bit of rain. Let me switch over to the GFS model here real quick and this far out. Again, could be a little rain in this area, but do I expect there to be a ton of rain? No, absolutely not. Again, just switching the time frame here. We'll throw that into motion. Again, mainly speaking, for the Lesser Antilles in general, there's not going to be a lot of shower activity over the next few days. Spotty rain in the afternoon hours, but nothing concentrated, no high rainfall totals. And we'll take a look at the rainfall totals across the area coming up as well, but just showing you this future track rain. Yeah, again, some spotty showers, slightly better chance. You get up towards the Leeward Islands, you know, St. Kitts and Nevis and Antigua and Barbuda and Anguilla, and then on over towards the British and U.S. Virgin Islands. Yeah, we'll up the rain chance slightly here. And again, for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, a better chance for some heavier rain tomorrow. And then it does break apart a little bit more, though not completely dry for the rest of the week. We've got to keep the rain away from places like Santo Domingo and the rest of the Dominican Republic. And in general, we're going to do that. Again, spotty showers are likely later in the week, and I'll monitor that situation very, very closely. But overall, right now, I'm not extremely concerned because, again, this far north, we get into that drier air, which is going to really undercut the chance for heavier rain and widespread rain. And I've already mentioned Jamaica is in that same scenario, as is the Cayman Islands. And for our friends in the Bahamas down to the Turks and Caicos, a little bit of rain in the Turks and Caicos, but the better chance for showers this week is going to be up in the Bahamas. Let's take a look at that. Again, well, I'll show you the long term, and then we'll look at the high resolution. We'll look at the high resolution models as well. So we'll switch over here to the reflectivity product, if I can, if it'll let me. There we go. Again, it's being very finicky this morning. Let's see here, model, or is it maybe just me? It could be user error, right? I mean, that can happen as well. Let's see here. I want to get out far enough through Thanksgiving. Okay, so again, on the GFS model, a couple things to note here. I'm going to let it run one time and then we'll stop it and start it again. So for the remainder of today, for places like Grand Bahama and Nassau and Abaco and Andros and Eleuthera, Walker's Key included, spotty rain developing in the afternoon hours. We are going to get some light showers developing here. Could be fairly overcast from time to time. Spotty light rain for tomorrow. Again, a few showers into our Thursday, and then Friday, we're going to see some heavier rain develop just to our north, and the model's going to try and keep that core just to the north of the islands, kind of move it off into the western Atlantic without it really affecting us too much. If we look at the high res, this is going to be the HER model here. And again, looking at the time frame here as far as we can go out, which is 48 hours or about 36 in this case. When I put this into motion, you're going to see again the remainder of today. And I just want to highlight this here on the high resolution model, the moisture coming back in and spotty rain developing in the afternoon hours in the northwest Bahamas. It'll be somewhat windswept rain. I don't expect a lot in any one area, but the opportunity for some showers to develop there as we go through the remainder of today and portions of tomorrow, but slightly better chance for rain later into the week. Okay, let's go back to what's happening here in the broad perspective, because there is one more area to talk about, and it is this one that thankfully is going to be moving into the open waters of the Atlantic. Now, has it brought some breezier conditions to Bermuda? Yes, it has, but it's now also off towards the east. So again, not really concerned about this one dragging into any one location as it gets into these open waters. Even if it develops into some kind of a hybrid system, it's not going to be impacting any landmass. Those are the kinds of ones that we don't mind talking about whatsoever here. If I want to show you here real quickly the winds on this, we can do that real quickly as well. So I'm going to switch over to our wind gust product here, and then let's see, again, pull out the time frame to make it as far as I want. We'll go back out towards, this is fine. So again, this is basically for the week ahead into the early part of the weekend. You're going to see that core wrap up. There's also, of course, mid-latitude cyclones in November that come off of the east coast of the United States, cold fronts, lows associated with that, of course, snow for the northeast and rain for the mid-Atlantic states and the southeast. That is going to bring more wind to Bermuda as well. But again, this core is small, but it does show something developing here. Open waters of the Atlantic late in the week. We'll see if they classify it as anything. I'm not sure that they're going to. It might just be extratropical in nature to begin with. But also notice again on the GFS model here for the Caribbean with this disturbance, you see no core of wind. It'll be fresher breezes coming in, but nothing too significant as we expect it to be. Okay. So as we wrap this up for this early Tuesday morning, friends, again, just want to remind everyone of where you can follow us on social media in between these forecasts. We are everywhere. We've got our Instagram, My Meteo Mundo, TikTok, we're Meteo Mundo, Facebook page is Meteo Mundo. Again, you can get snippets of the forecast in between these longer forecast videos here on YouTube. And you have a picture or a video you want to send us, we would love to see where you're viewing us from. That is mymeteomundo@gmail.com. Of course, thank you very much for liking the video. If you get some great information out of this and you want the latest forecast in your area across the Caribbean and the Bahamas, I encourage you to subscribe to us right here at Meteo Mundo. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Of course, I'll be back shortly with an update and all the newest information on both of those disturbances, especially the one in the Caribbean. Now, in between all of this, you can still follow us on our live stream. If you go over to our live tab, you will see our computer system running in real time. That's right, you get live, real-time updated satellite, radar, tropical track information. If anything develops or changes with this, it updates automatically, including those spaghetti plots. You'll get those updates in real time, and all the numbers that you see are the temperatures as well. So make sure you tune into that here. Again, it'll be updating live. Appreciate your friends. We'll see you soon right here at Meteo Mundo.